We are the Gujarat Technological University. Since its inception over a decade ago, GTU has been empowering young and curating minds to realize their true potential. Over 4 lakh inspired students are enrolled with one of the premier academic universities in India. With more than 450 affiliated colleges in its fold operating across 5 zones of the state, GTU, the International Innovative University, your place to move forward.
Hi students, I am back with another topic in production and operations management, that is just-in-time or lean manufacturing systems. I am Dr. Rajesh Faldu, Associate Professor, JAYSUKHLAL VADHAR Institute of Management Studies. Welcome you to the e-tutorial in production and operations management. So let us begin our today's session on just-in-time, JIT or lean manufacturing system. In today's session, we are going to cover concept of JIT, 7 types of waste, elements of JIT, benefits of JIT, Kaizen, Kanban, and JIT in service company. So let's start our session by understanding what is JIT or just-in-time or lean manufacturing system. Just-in-time is an approach that seeks to eliminate all sources of waste in production activities by providing the right path at the right place at the right time. A just-in-time production system is thus a type of production scheduling and inventory management system in which products are produced in just the right quantities to supply to final customers or the next stage of production at just the right time. No inventory is kept in anticipation of demand. Just-in-time production system was pioneered by Toyota Automobile Company. It is based on the logic that nothing is produced until it is needed. Need is created by actual demand for a product. Waste is to be avoided at all cost if just-in-time system has to work. Just-in-time organizes employees in teams and makes everyone in an organization conscious of their work. The basic aim of just-in-time management philosophy is to produce goods of high quality and to have continuous improvement as its goal. JIT produces the quantity of units that is needed, no more and no less. It produces the quantity of units that is needed on the date and at the time they are required, not before and not after. Every item must arrive at the right place and at the right time, and every machine must function without breakdown if JIT system has to work. This thus leads to a reduced lot size, reduction in inventory levels, low production cost, and a superior quality product. Shigeo Shingo, a JIT authority at Toyota, identified 7 types of waste in production that should be eliminated if JIT has to work. We can say these are the many kinds of waste, such as time wasted in maintenance, investment locked in inventories, idle workers, and so on. So the first kind of waste that has to be eliminated if JIT has to work, according to Shigeo Shingo, is waste of overproduction. This occurs where the firm produces more goods than the market demands. and hence exactly as per the demand only goods have to be produced in that many quantities. The second type of waste which has to be eliminated is waiting time. Waste of waiting time occurs when flows of materials and information become stalled at one place. Hence, coordination is necessary to reduce waste of waiting time. The third type of waste is waste of transportation, which has to be eliminated if JIT has to work. This involves designing layout that reduces or eliminates material handling and shipping to eliminate waste of transportation. Layout has to be designed in such a way that minimum material handling equipment needs to be used in order to eliminate waste of transportation and reduce cost. The fourth kind of waste which needs to be eliminated if JIT has to work, that is processing waste, which means eliminating all irrelevant production steps and include only those which are relevant for the production. Fifth type of waste which needs to be eliminated if JIT has to work, that is inventory waste. Inventory waste occurs when a process builds more than the firm needs. Hence, only what is required in that many quantities only production has to be built up. Sixth kind of waste that needs to be eliminated if JIT needs to work, that is waste of motion and effort. This waste results from unnecessary human activity. Hence, this kind of waste can be eliminated by improving human productivity, by giving more training to workers and make necessary motions more efficient. Last, seventh kind of waste which needs to be eliminated if JIT has to work is waste from product defects. This waste occurs from creating defective products and correcting them. Hence, we should eliminate all the defects from the very first time and inspection needs to be carried out. So we should make defect-free product if we want to eliminate waste of product defects. Hence, we can eliminate inspection too along with the defects, and we can save time as well as cost. So these are the 7 kind of waste according to Shigeo Shingo, which is a JIT authority at Toyota. These wastes were identified by him which should be eliminated if JIT has to work. Now let's discuss elements of JIT manufacturing system. So the first element of just-in-time manufacturing system, that is, if one wants to implement JIT manufacturing system, one should focus upon eliminating all kind of waste, which we have discussed previously, like waste of overproduction, waste of waiting time, waste of transportation, processing waste, inventory waste, and so on. The second thing which one needs to focus upon if one wants to implement JIT system, that is enforced problem solving. When we talk about enforced problem solving, we mean that there are no safety factors here, as every item is expected to meet quality standards. Enforced problem solving also refers to every item must arrive at the right place and at the right time, and every machine must function without breakdown. So there is no problem and goods are just produced in right quantities at the right time and right place and delivered to the customer as and when demanded. Another element of JIT system, that is, if JIT has to work, continuous improvement in all methods, operations or setups needs to be done. If any organization wants to implement JIT, it must focus upon continuous improvement. Also, involvement of people has to be there. That is, employees or workers have to be empowered, and teamwork has to be promoted. Also, total quality management has to be there if JIT system has to work. That is, one must aim of producing products of perfect quality every time, defect-free products, to eliminate inspection and to eliminate cost of defects. So these are some of the elements of JIT manufacturing system. And if one wants to implement JIT, one must focus upon the following elements. Now let us discuss what are the benefits of implementing JIT system. So the first benefit what we have here is inventory cost gets reduced, as we are maintaining low inventory levels or zero inventory. Production cycle time shortens. Product quality gets improved. Work in process inventory is reduced, and there is optimum utilization of labor. Also, setup time is reduced. Machine breakdowns are reduced, and no defective products are produced. So these are some of the benefits of implementing JIT system. Yes, one thing is very important. There are situations where JIT method may not be suitable to adopt. In order that JIT system works smoothly, we need to build long-lasting relationships with our suppliers. We need to treat suppliers as partners. When suppliers won't support JIT by delivering raw material in small batches on a daily basis, and when there is problems with suppliers, in that cases we will not be able to implement JIT. We should ensure reliable delivery of materials from suppliers on a daily basis in order that JIT to work. Now let's understand the concept of Kaizen. Kaizen is also known as continuous improvement. It's a management philosophy of continuous improvement. This is translated from Japanese word kai, meaning continuous, and zen, meaning improvement. It's a management philosophy and forms the base of the Toyota production system as well as lean manufacturing. It's a policy of constantly introducing small incremental changes in a business in order to improve quality and efficiency. The central philosophy of Kaizen is basically no process could ever be declared perfect, and that therefore there is always room for improvement. So it's about continually aiming for improvement, not just on the shop floor but across the whole company. Kaizen strategy is one of the most important concepts in Japanese management and is credited with being key to Japanese competitive success. Kaizen includes customer orientation, total quality control, robotics, automation, discipline in the workplace, total productive maintenance, zero defects, productivity improvement, and so on. Kaizen is thus a group activity and it employs small groups for initiating improvements, usually in small increments over a longer period of time. The management encourages suggestions or from employees regarding possible improvements in their respective work areas. The success depends on the participation and response to the program. So the basic focus of Kaizen is on small improvements. Many people are involved and basically we aim here to improve the process. The employees are rewarded for giving useful suggestions. These rewards are more of recognition, such as Man of the Month, small gifts, certificates, rather than monetary worth. These are some of the key features of Kaizen. Here the improvements are based on small changes, many small changes, rather than radical changes which might arise from research and development. As the ideas come from the workers themselves, they are less likely to be radically different and therefore easier to implement. Small improvements do not require major capital investment. The ideas come from the talents of the existing workforce as opposed to consultants or using R&D, and hence it is least costly. All employees here are continuously seeking ways to improve their own performance. It also helps encourage workers to take ownership for their work and can help reinforce team working, thereby improving worker motivation. In order to implement JIT, one must focus upon Kaizen or continuous improvement. Kaizen is thus a main part of JIT management philosophy. So these are some of the key features of Kaizen. Now let's understand Kanban system. Kanban is a Japanese word meaning flag or signal and is a visual aid to convey the message that action is required. JIT uses a Kanban system. When we talk about Kanban system works on the basis that each process on a production line pulls just the number and type of components the process requires at just the right time. Kanban is usually a physical card, but other devices can be used. A Kanban is a card that is attached to a storage and transport container. It identifies the part number and container capacity along with other information. It's a means to achieve JIT production. The mechanism used here is a Kanban card. Let's take an example of a supermarket, how a Kanban system works in supermarket. Let's take a look at the diagram. Let's understand how Kanban system works in supermarket. In the diagram we see that customer selects the items what customer wants to buy. Now during the checkout, the clerk scans the items which the customer has bought. Computer signals those items in the warehouse. Truck replaces once the items fall to a certain level, and finally the customer checkouts. So a large variety is always maintained in the supermarket, because once the inventory falls to a certain level, the computer signals the warehouse and the truck replaces that. And clerk, when he or she scans the items which the customer has bought, automatically the signal goes to the warehouse once the items fall to a certain level. So by these ways large variety is always maintained in the supermarket in a small stock and it's readily visible. So here also we use barcode system, and clerk scans the barcode, and when the clerk scans the barcode, automatically computer signals the warehouse once the inventory declines to a certain level. So this is how Kanban system works in supermarket. So Kanban system, these kind of Kanban system is used in JIT also. So when we talk about that JIT uses Kanban system, we mean that each process on a production line pulls just the number and type of components the process requires at just the right time, and hence when we talk about the assembly line manufacturing in automobile industry, the assembly line is balanced and the production of car runs smoothly, and at every stage whatever parts, components are required, the right kind of part are delivered at the right place at the right time, and hence the production line is balanced, and hence in the desired quantities items are produced at the right time. So this is how Kanban system works in JIT. Till now we were discussing implementation of JIT in manufacturing companies. Now let us understand how JIT is implemented in service companies. Like McDonald's have implemented JIT. So there are 5 principles. These are known as 5S principles of Japanese management. One needs to implement this if one wants to implement JIT in service companies. All these principles have originated from Japanese words, and all these words start from S. That's why these are known as 5S principles of Japanese management. So the first principle or Japanese word, that is seiri. The English meaning of seiri is sorting out, sort. So if one wants to implement JIT in service companies, one must do the sorting out, that is simplify what is kept or stored at each workstation. So say for example, if one wants to implement JIT in the garage, like Volkswagen Motors have implemented JIT when they want to do the maintenance of the cars which come for the service station. So the first principle what they use is seiri, that is simplify what is to be kept or stored at each workstation. There will be various workstations at which the Volkswagen cars maintenance or services are carried out. So the first what they do is sorting out. The second principle what is required to implement JIT in service companies is Satan. The English meaning of Satan Japanese word is straighten. That is, every item have to be kept at a proper place at each workstation. The third principle of Japanese management, if one wants to implement JIT in service company, that is seiso. Seiso is a Japanese word which in English means shine. That is, one should keep their workstation clean and shining and sweep properly. Fourth principle which one has to implement if one wants to implement JIT in service companies is seiketsu. English meaning of seiketsu is standardize. That is, any service organization has to set standards which requires all employees to strictly adhere to those rules and follow that as a habit. And the last principle which a service organization has to follow if one wants to implement JIT is shitsuk. That is, self-discipline have to be cultivated and has to be sustained. It has to be instilled in employees, and it must be considered as a habit to keep their workstations organized. Now let's see this in diagram and understand this. By looking at the diagram, we see 5 words. These are Japanese words, and I have translated that into English meanings. These are known as principles, and these principles have to be followed by service organizations if they have to implement JIT in their service companies. So the first principle is, first they should do sort out. That is, they should clearly distinguish what are the needed items and what are the unwanted items, and they should separate unwanted items from the needed items, and they should eliminate all the unwanted items. After this is done, they should straighten. That is, which are the wanted items, they should keep those items in the correct place to allow the easy and immediate retrieval of those items as and when needed. The third thing what service organizations should do if they want to implement JITs, they should keep their workstation or workplace neat and clean and shiny. Fourth principle what they should follow is, they should set the standards, and these standards have to be followed by all the employees or workers working in the companies, service companies, and workers have to follow these standards in such a way that it should become a habit for them. And lastly, workers or employees working in the service companies have to sustain that is year after year they should maintain these standards, maintain these established procedures which have been formulated. So this is how JIT can be implemented in service organizations. So that's all for the today's session. Hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you.